Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Gurudev Jaya Jaya Gurudev Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Satya, I can play the kartals. Yeah, somebody else can play the mridanga if you want to have prasada. Play the mridanga. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Bolo Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Ram Sankirtana Yajna ki jai. One more time, we'll offer our prana mantras to Srila Prabhupada. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desatarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. In the course of searching and researching and thising and thating, I found a very nice set of prayers that's not from our songbook, but by Vrindavan Das Thakur. And somebody's going to try to sing this nameless song. And then there's a translation in English. Go ahead.
अंतरे निताय बाहिरे निताय निताय जगत माया नगर निताय कथये काया अंतरे निताय बाहिरे निताय निताय जगत माया नगर निताय कथये काया साधन निताय भजन निताय निताय नयन तारा दासदिका माया निताय सुंदर निताय भुवन भारा भजन निताय निताय नयन तारा दासदिका माया निताय सुंदर निताय भुवन भारा राधा माधुरी अनंगे मंजरी निताय नितु से सेवे कोटि शशधर वदन सुंदर सख सखी बल देवे सुंदर सख सखी बलदेव राधार भगिनी श्याम सोहागिनी सव सखी गण प्राण जनहरला भरी मंडप सजनी श्रीमणि मंदिर नामा जनहरला बिरी मंडप सजनी श्रीमणि मंदिर नाम अंतरे निताय बाहिरे निताय निताय जगत माया नगर निताय कथये काया माया नगर निताय कथये काया निताय सुंदर योग पीठ धरे रत्न सिंहासन सेजे भाषण निताय भूषण निताय विलासे शखेरा माजे आजे की कही बार निताय शबर अखी मुख सव अंगा निताय नुटर रंग की कभी बार निताय शबर अखी मुख सव अंगा निताय अंगा अंतरे निताय बाहिरे निताय जगत माया नगर नगरी निताय कथये काया अंतरे निताय बाहिरे निताय जगत माया नगर नगरी निताय कथये निताय बलिया दुबाहु तुलिया चली बव्रजेर पूरे दास वृंदावन ए निवेदन निताय न छड़ो मोरे निताय बलिया दुबाहु तुलिया चली बव्रजेर पूरे दास वृंदावन ए निवेदन निताय न छड़ो मोरे अंतरे निताय बाहिरे निताय जगत माया नगर निताय कथये काया अंतरे निताय बाहिरे निताय जगत माया नगर निताय कथये काया अंतरे निताय बाहिरे निताय जगत माया नगर निताय कथये काया अंतरे निताय बाहिरे निताय जगत माया नगर निताय कथये काया हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
Where do you find that melody? Huh? YouTube. Okay. That's a good place. YouTube. Translation. Nitai is within and without. He is everywhere within this world. He is the lover, and he is the sweetheart. Everyone says it. Nitai is my regular principles, my object of worship, and the light of my eyes. Nitai is in all 10 directions. In fact, he fills all the 3 worlds. Nitai as Srimati Radharani. He is not different from Baladev, whose beautiful face resembles millions of moons and is surrounded by Sakhas and Sakhis. The sister of Radharani, Ananga Manjari, is very dear to Sri Shyam, and she is the life and soul of the Sakhis. She decorates the arena of the temple named Mani Mandira. Nitai sustains the Yogapith and becomes a throne for the Lord to rest on. Nitai is also the dress and ornaments. He enjoys pastimes with the Sakhis. What more can I say? Nitai is the eyes, mouth, and limbs of everyone. Nitai, 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 Nitai. I see only Nitai dancing, raising my hands and chanting, Nitai. I will go to Braja. I, Vrindavan Das, only request Nitai to kindly never leave me. With a song like that, I don't think he will. Pretty creative. So this evening has 2 parts. And both of the parts, there's something that's just extensions of what we've heard already, but the marriage of Lord Nityananda. Now, this isn't like, a lovely sannyasi topic, but it's fine. It's Lord Nityananda. And Lord Nityananda married the 2 wives, the daughters of Suryadas Sarakale, named Vasudha and Janava. We narrated a little bit about this marriage, and there are different versions, but this evening we're going to read the version that's found in Bhakti Ratnakar. Bhakti Ratnakar? You familiar? You're looking at it like, huh? No. You know this book? Now you're going to know this book before the evening's over. This is a book by Narahari Chakravarti, and a very simple way to describe it is, it's pastimes of the associates of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, principally after his departure. Because Chaitanya Charitamrita and the other biographies are largely his life and so forth. Of course, the marriage of Nityananda was during his life, but the largest portion of this is considered a very authentic, worthy of respect kind of literature. It's not just the other kind. So in this Bhakti Ratnakar, there's a very nice description that's a little different than the one that I narrated. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu informed Nityananda that he wanted him to get married, and there was that discussion about, oh no, because he's an avaduta, and the associates of Mahaprabhu are largely, there were of course others, but largely were renunciates. So let's see if I can start at the right place. Yeah, it's marked, but I just wanted to make sure I got the, okay, right place. It's several pages long, so this is just here. Advaita Acharya and others began to discuss Nityananda Prabhu's marriage. Krishna Das, the fortunate son of Hari Hoda, from Banga Chig Ram, that's the place where he lived, he had great respect for Lord Nityananda, and he wanted to make the arrangements for his marriage, so like a marriage broker. At that time, a Brahmana named Suryadas, who had earned the title of Sarakela by serving in the court of the Mohammedan king. So Sarakela, according to Chaitanya Charitamrita, indicates it's a title, and it's a secretary of the leading the king of that particular kingdom, of that particular Muslim ruler. So Sarakela, who's a secretary, personal secretary. He lived in Chalagram. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, specifically it says, and he had amassed great wealth. Now, presumably he didn't get it by embezzlement. He got it by the king really appreciated what he was doing, and so he rewarded him. Kings can do that. And Suryadas, who had wealth, he had property, and he was a respected personality. At that time, a Brahmana named Suryadas, who had earned the title of Sarakale by serving in the court of the Mohammedan king, lived in Shalagram, near Navadvip. He had 4 extremely virtuous brothers and 2 daughters. Now here's a quiz question. Raise your hand, don't just blurt out the answer. One of his brothers we spoke about. What was the name of one of his brothers who we spoke about? I see one hand. Go ahead. Goridas Pandit. Oh. So what did we know about Goridas Pandit? Goridas Pandit was such an intimate associate of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that before he made the move to take sannyas, he, along with Nityananda, went to visit Goridas Pandit. Now, there's some history that together they were the brother. There was one big family, but with the permission of the elder brother Suryadas, the younger brother moved to the other side of the Ganga. So to get to where Ambika Kalna, remember the name of the place where Goridas lived, he had to go across the Ganga. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had that very intimate relationship, such an intimate relationship that he's one of the handful of persons that he informed before he accepted sannyas. And Goridas was, interesting personality. He said, no, you can't do this. Anyway, he did it. So he had 4 brothers. He was the elder of 4 brothers. Extremely virtuous brothers. And 2 daughters named Vasudha and Janava, who were known for their beauty and good disposition. Suryadas had requested the learned Brahmanas to search for good bridegrooms for his daughters, but they were unable to find suitable boys. Paragraph. The Brahmanas then suggested that Suryadas go to the village of Ekachakra. What do you know about Ekachakra? Nityananda's place, yeah, where he was born. In Radhadesh, and meet Hadai Pandit, saying that he, Hadai Pandit, was a very good man and the father of Nityananda Prabhu, a high-spirited young boy. Traveling as an avaduta, Nityananda had visited many holy places and was renowned as a great scholar. This is the Brahmana community, the scuttlebutt. He's a good candidate. After visiting various places of pilgrimage, he reached Nadia, where he met Lord Gaurasundar and decided to give up his wanderings. The Brahmanas explained how Nityananda was a dear associate of Sri Krishna Chaitanya and thus would be the most suitable husband for his daughters. They also told Suryadas that if he was able to have such a son-in-law as Nityananda Prabhu, he should thank Providence for his good fortune. Suryadas listened attentively and then returned home without saying a word. With his mind filled with anticipation, Suryadas lay down and fell asleep. In his dreams, he saw himself giving his 2 daughters to Nityananda Prabhu in marriage. While the learned Brahmanas recited the marriage hymns, Suryadas dedicated his daughters to Nityananda, and the demigods in heaven showered flowers on their heads. While looking at his son-in-law, Suryadas suddenly saw the extremely enchanting Lord Balaram in place of Nityananda. His complexion was like that of a silver mountain. His face was effulgent like the moon, and his body was adorned with brilliant ornaments. He looked at Vasudha and Janava and saw instead Varuni and Revati, having complexions as bright as gold. They wore beautiful dresses and ornaments and sat on either side of Balaram. Suryadas became overwhelmed by this vision and began to weep. Suddenly his dream faded away. In the morning, Suryadas went to the house of one of the Brahmanas and bowed down at his feet, saying, "I agree to your proposal. Please don't delay." The happy Brahmana took 4 persons with him and started for Nadia, while chanting the auspicious names of Durga and Ganesh. When they arrived at the house of Srivas Thakur, they found Nityananda, looking like Cupid himself, sitting amongst his associates. Feeling extremely fortunate, the Brahmana's eyes filled with tears. With great respect, Srivas Thakur inquired about the Brahmana's welfare, and the Brahmanas replied, "I have come from my house to speak privately with you." Srivas took him to a secluded place, and the Brahmana gladly revealed his mind, saying, "I have heard that you are searching for a bride for Nityananda, and so I want to inform you of 2 girls, the daughters of Suryadas Pandit. I have searched everywhere, but did not find anyone suitable for them. They are as beautiful as goddesses of Goddess Lakshmi and of good disposition. I think that they will be suitable bride for Nityananda. Please come to my house and see the girls." Suryadas Sarakale, who belongs to a good family, has agreed to this marriage and does not want to delay any longer. Now tell me, what is your opinion? Srivas Pandit replied, "I shall see to it today. I will send Krishnadas to Bada Gachi," spelled a little different than before, "and tomorrow he will go to your house so that you can take him to see Suryadas." Upon hearing this, the Brahmana happily hurried back to Suryadas's house in Shalagram. Srivas Pandit informed Advaitacharya about this marriage proposal. Nityananda Prabhu overheard their discussion and smiled softly and meaningfully. Krishnadas, who was a very intelligent son of Raja Hari Hoda, hastily went to Bada Gachi and immediately began preparing for the marriage. News of the wedding spread quickly, and everyone said, "This marriage will be a good one." Nityananda Prabhu, along with his associates, happily left Navadvip and started for Bada Gachi. They approached the village. As they approached the village, the residents of Bada Gachi hurried to welcome them. The Brahmanas leading the citizens of the village, were filled with happiness to see the graceful features of Nityananda Prabhu. Meanwhile, in Shalagram, which was not far from Badagachi, Suryadas told his younger brother Krishnadas, "I will go first to Badagachi. You and the Brahmanas come after me with these gifts." Suryadas hastily came to Badagachi and went to meet Nityananda Prabhu. Overwhelmed with emotion, Suryadas burst into tears and fell on the ground at Nityananda Prabhu's lotus feet. It's his son-in-law. Indeed, he held the lotus feet of Nityananda Prabhu in his hands, but could not speak a word. Smiling brightly, Nityananda embraced the fortunate Suryadas. After meeting all the Vaishnavas there, Suryadas fixed the date for Nityananda's Adivas. Krishnadas Pandit came from his house along with the Brahmanas and many items for the ceremony. In the evening, all the residents of Badagachi came, and at the auspicious time, Nityananda Prabhu sat in the middle of the respected Brahmanas and other leading persons. The people watched happily as the Adivas ceremony was performed, and auspicious music filled the air. After the completion of Adivas ceremony, the guests returned home. Suryadas also happily returned to his house. Suryadas, with the help of the learned Brahmanas, joyfully performed the Adivas ceremony of his daughters. Suryadas had previously seen the real identities of his daughters, and yet, as a father, he became very emotional about their marriage. Carrying many items for the Adivas, Brahmanas came from Badagachi to the house of Suryadas. At the time of Adivas, Vasudha and Janava looked very elegant, dressed and decorated in most attractive manner. The Brahmanas began to recite hymns from the Vedas. After completing the Adivas, the satisfied Brahmanas returned home. In the evening, the bridegroom, Nityananda Prabhu, left Badagachi and started for Shalagram. Everyone who saw the extraordinary bridegroom became enchanted by his beauty. Nityananda Prabhu happily entered the village of Shalagram and came to the house of Suryadas. The people who rushed forward to touch the Lord's lotus feet were suddenly filled with devotion. From a hidden place, Shri, Vasudha, and Janava observed the beauty of their husband with extreme pleasure. As the great crowd began to congregate around the house of Suryadas, young girls decorated Vasudha and Janava with beautiful dresses and ornaments according to the customary procedures. Suryadas then offered his daughters to Nityananda Prabhu. All the Brahmanas and even the demigods were enchanted by the beauty of the brides and the bridegroom. The next day, the house of Suryadas was filled with joyous festivities, as the father of the brides humbly performed the various customary rituals, and Nityananda Prabhu satisfied the desires of all the devotees. Afterwards, Nityananda Prabhu and his two wives returned to Badagachi. Srivas Thakur's wife and all the ladies there admired the beauty of the newlyweds. In Sri Gora Gonadesh Dipika, it is stated that Suryadas, who was a great man as brilliant as the sun, was the incarnation of Kukudmi. Who's Kukudmi? Who's our Bhagavatam scholar? Kukudmi was the father of whom? Revati. His daughters, Suryadas's daughters, the wives of Sri Nityananda Prabhu, were previously Sri Varuni and Sri Revati, According to Sun, Sri Vasudha Devi was formerly Kalavati, and Sri Janava Devi was formerly Anangamanjari. There's a difference of opinion. But we know which opinion was the opinion of Krishnadas Kavi, no, of Vrindavan Das Thakur. Many learned sages also support this conclusion. So that's Bhakti Ratnakar's version. The version that I repeated the other day was when the proposal was made for marriage, Surya Das was a little reluctant. Like, my daughter's going to marry an Avadhuta? Really? But the version that I had heard was he was advised, don't mess with Nityananda. So he said yes. Now there's another very lengthy section from Chaitanya Bhagavat that I'd like to read. And this is the prayers of Madhai. Now, we all know that the basic plot or the storyline of Lord Nityananda being hit in the head by the clay pot thrown by Madhai, and that when that news came to Lord Chaitanya, he immediately came and was ready to chop him with the Sudarshan Chakra. There's some interesting details, and particularly I'm interested in hearing his prayers, which Chaitanya Bhagavat has recorded. There's some other nice paintings of the same. And the two brothers were their roles were a little different in this whole drama, which is depicted very clearly in Chaitanya Bhagavat. And so we'll just read a little bit from Chaitanya Bhagavat, Madhya Kanda, this is a long section, starting with verse number 234. So here's where we're going to begin. The determination of Nityananda is never baffled. Knowing for certain that this was the desire of Nityananda. Thereafter, the Vaishnavas caught hold of Jagai and Madhai and took them inside the Lord's house. So something's wrong here. Yeah. So the hitting in the head and all this had already happened. The intimate associates entered. This is where Lord Chaitanya's residence was, or where he was staying for the time being. The door was then closed, and others were not allowed to enter. Mahaprabhu Vishwambar came in and sat down. Nityananda and Gadadhar sat on either side of him. Advaita, the greatest recipient of the Lord's mercy, sat in front of the Lord, and all the Vaishnavas sat around the Lord. Pundarik Vijayanidhi, Haridas Thakur, Garuda, Ramai, Srinivas, Gangadas, Prakeshwara Pandit, and Chandrasekhar Acharya all knew the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya very well. Numerous exalted devotees happily sat with Jagai and Madhai around Lord Chaitanya. Must have been a big room. As Jagai and Madhai rolled on the ground, their hair stood on end. They shed tears, and their entire bodies shivered. Who has the power to understand the desire of Lord Chaitanya, who transforms the two rogues into Mahabhagavatas? The Lord delivered many atheistic ascetics and sannyasis by such nectarian pastimes. Anyone who has faith in these pastimes attains Krishna, while those who have doubts will fall down. The two, Jagai Madhai, began to offer prayers that were heard by Sri Gaurasundara and his associates. By the order of Chaitanya Chandra, Shuddha Saraswati, the goddess of transcendental knowledge, appeared on the tongues of those two. Seeing Nityananda and Lord Chaitanya together there, the two could understand their actual identity. In this way, the two great personalities began to recite prayers. Anyone who hears these prayers attains devotional service to Krishna. So here's the prayers, starting with 250. All glories to Mahaprabhu. All glories to Vishwambar. All glories to Nityananda, who is the support of Vishwambar. All glories to the acharyas, who take pleasure in chanting their own names. These all glories to Nityananda, who does everything for the pleasure of Lord Chaitanya. And the long purport by Bhaktisiddhanta. All glories to Jagannath Mishra's son. All glories to Nityananda, who is fully surrendered to Lord Chaitanya. All glories to Sachi's son, who is an ocean of mercy. All glories to Nityananda, who is Lord Chaitanya's friend. All glories to the beloved Lord of the Raja Pandit's daughter. All glories to Nityananda, whose body is filled with compassion. All glories to all the activities of the Lord. All glories to Nityananda Chandra, the emperor of the Vaishnavas. All glories to the Lord who holds the Conch Disc Club in Lotus. All glories to the best of the Avadutas, who is none different from the Lord. All glories to Gaurachandra, the life of Advaita. All glories to the thousand-headed Nityananda. All glories to the life and soul of Gadadhar and the Lord of Murari. All glories to the benefactor of Haridas and Vasudeva. You have delivered numerous sinful persons in your various incarnations. This is glorified throughout the world as most wonderful. Now remember, they were previously brahmanas and they got distracted, to say the least. They became totally contaminated. But that covering has become removed. By delivering us too, however, your past glories have become minimized. Even the glories of delivering Ajamila have been minimized by delivering us. We are not flattering you. We are speaking the truth. Ajamila was actually fit for liberation. It is stated in the Vedas that a person who has killed millions of brahmanas immediately attained liberation if he chants your name. And a long Bhaktisiddhanta purport. Such a name was vibrated by Ajamila, so his deliverance was not very wonderful. Yet you incarnate to establish the truth of the Vedas. If you do not deliver the living entities, then the words of the Vedas become false. Yet we have harmed the body of your associate, and still you have delivered both of us. O Lord, just now see how much difference there is between you and us too. On hearing the name of Narayana from the mouth of Ajamila, 4 Mahajans came and appeared before him. We saw you, along with your associates, servants, weapons, and confidential companions, after we drew blood from Nityananda. Till now you have kept your glories concealed, but, O Lord, the limit of your glories is now revealed. Now the Vedas have become most authoritative, and now Lord Ananta will proudly sing your glories. Now your hidden quality has become manifest, O Lord. The name of this quality is causeless deliverance. Nirlaksha Udhara. Nirlaksha Udhara. Causeless deliverance. If you say that despite their attack, demons like Kamsa were also delivered, then consider what qualities they had. These kings constantly saw you. They fought with you according to Kshatriya principles and constantly thought of you in fear. Yet they could not avoid the sin of attacking you, and as a result, they and their dynasties were destroyed. That they left their bodies while seeing you, yet which great soul cared to touch them? The pure devotees who once took bath in the Ganges after touching our shadow are now touching us. O Lord, this is certainly due to your extraordinary glories. Who can deceive now? Who can be deceived now? Everyone is convinced. The great devotee Gajendra offered you prayers, and you delivered him because he was fully surrendered. That example cannot be applied to demons like Putana, Agha, and Baka, although they attained the spiritual world when they left their bodies. Who had the power to see that without Vedic knowledge? What you have done to us, two sinners, however, has been directly seen by the people of the entire world. The sinners that you have previously delivered all had some qualification or another. But now you have causelessly delivered two persons who were Brahmana demons. This is only due to your mercy. Jagai and Madhai cried as they offered these prayers. Such are the matchless pastimes of Lord Chaitanya. On seeing this matchless pastime, all the Vaishnavas stood up and offered prayers with folded hands. O Lord, without your mercy, not even one's father would understand the prayers offered by these two drunkards. Who can understand your inconceivable energies, and when and how and on whom you bestow your mercy? The Lord said, these two are no longer drunkards. From today on, they are my two servants. All of you bestow your mercy on these two, so that birth after birth they do not forget me. Forgive whatever offenses they have committed against you and show compassion to them. Hearing the Lord's words, Jagai and Madhai fell down on everyone's feet. All the devotees blessed Jagai and Madhai, who were then freed from all their offenses. The Lord said, Get up, Jagai and Madhai. Do not worry, for you are my servants. The prayers that you have offered are certainly true. No one can refute them. What you have experienced is not possible in these bodies. Know for certain that this was simply due to Nityananda's mercy. I have personally taken charge of your sinful reactions, O brothers. See for yourselves. In order to demonstrate that there were no more sins remaining in the bodies of these two, the Lord's body turned blackish. The Lord said, How do I look? Advaita replied, You look just like Sri Gaurachandra. On hearing Advaita's comment, Vishwambar smiled, and all the devotees chanted the name of Hari. The Lord said, See how these two sinners are black. Perform kirtan so that their sins can take shelter in those who blaspheme. Hearing the Lord's words, everyone became jubilant. They began to perform kirtan in ecstasy. Lord Vishwambar danced with Nityananda, and all the Vaishnavas surrounded them and sang the glories of the Lord. Advaita also danced. He had induced the Lord to incarnate and thus delivered the entire world. As they performed kirtan, everyone clapped their hands and danced jubilantly. They felt no fear as they bumped into the Lord thousands of times in their ecstasy. Mother Sachi and her daughter-in-law floated in an ocean of ecstasy as they watched everything from within the house. Everyone was filled with ecstasy after seeing this pastime. Their ecstasy, their ecstatic love for Krishna was uninterrupted. The two drunkards danced in the association of he whose body the goddess of fortune is afraid to touch. In this way, Lord Chaitanya delivered the two drunkards and sent the blasphemers of the Vaishnavas to the hell known as Kumbhipaka. Blasphemy does not enhance one's religious principles. It only results in sin. That is why fortunate souls do not engage in blasphemy. After transforming the two rogues into Mahabhagavatas, Sri Gaurahari danced along with his associates. Overwhelmed from dancing, Lord Vishwambar sat down, and all the Vaishnavas sat around him. Their bodies were covered with 2 inches of dust. Yet they were all filled with pure knowledge. Lord Gaurasundara regained his former state, smiled, and spoke to everyone there. Do not consider these two as sinners, for I have personally burned their sinful reactions to ashes. In the bodies of all living entities, when I leave a body, it dies. The living entity cries if he feels a little distress, but I am not present in that body. It will be when it is burned. But the living entity's distress is due to false ego. He suffers miseries because he claims, I am the doer, I am the speaker. Therefore, the activities done by the two were actually done by me, and I've released them from the reactions. Knowing this fact, all of you, Vaishnavas, should see them as one of you and not discriminate against them. If you really belong to me, then listen to my order. Whatever you faithfully give to these two to eat will be equal to offering with love to Krishna's mouth. And all the honey available in the innumerable universes. Anyone who gives these two a small portion of food gives honey to the mouth of Krishna. If anyone ridicules these two, he will be ruined as a result of that offense. On hearing the Lord's words, the Vaishnavas cried in ecstatic love. Then they all offered obeisances to Jaghai and Madhai. The Lord then said, listen, devotees, let us all go to the Ganges. So then the chapter continues. Now this is a long section. I skipped some of the earlier parts. Some of the earlier parts I'll just summarize. When the scene happened and Lord Chaitanya came with his chakra raised, and Nityananda fell at his feet and pleaded with him to not take their lives, Lord Chaitanya turned to Jaghai and said, Jaghai, he already spoke. It's right in the text. He spoke to Madhai. Why are you doing this? You're going to heat him again? It's just it's not at all necessary. Please don't do that. Because Jaghai defended and protected the honor of Nityananda, he's not going to receive my chakra, but this Madhai, he's finished. And then Lord Nityananda pleaded with him again and again. And then so Lord Chaitanya insisted, only if you give him your mercy. So Lord Nityananda said, not only I give him my mercy, but something very similar to what Ambarish Maharaj said, if I've done any pious activities in my life, I hereby bestow it upon Madhai. So please forgive them. for any wrongdoing that you may see that they have done. The appeal upon Lord Chaitanya's ears to give his fullness of mercy even to sinful people is part of the glory of Lord Nityananda. Now, it doesn't excuse, but there is a relief from that burden, and that's part of the Sankirtan movement of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, to come into the world of sinful people and deliver them. But he delivers them through the medium of, or the agency of, Nityananda, because Nityananda knows the desire of Lord Chaitanya. Lord Chaitanya doesn't tolerate insult or injury to his devotee, particularly Nityananda. But when that devotee then pleads on behalf of those offenders, that's one Lord Chaitanya's request: fall at the feet, beg forgiveness. Then I can forgive you. If he gives you genuine pardon for all your offenses to him, it's like magical, but it's transcendental, and it's certainly a celebrated pastime for good reason, because in this world, as Prabhupada would speak, so many jagais and madhais, so many drunken people, so many sinful people, and the sinfulness of so many sinful people. Who can count how many sins, and who can count how many lifetimes they'll have to suffer from those sins, and still go in their midst and petition. It's as we had this discussion about, to the end of one's life, preach Krishna consciousness. And as Prabhupada personally set by his example, I mean, what was his consciousness? His consciousness was with Krishna. We know that from from various pastimes that he exhibited. He was with Krishna, and while he was with Krishna, he was with us, or acknowledging the foolishness and sinfulness and mistaken conduct, and overlooking it and gradually lifting. I mean, it takes Shakti to do that, and thus be protected by the power of bhakti itself. By giving bhakti, one is protected by the power of bhakti. I'm going to just add something. This is not like exactly on topic, but it's not off topic either. I travel every now and then. And one of the things that I'm finding as I'm traveling, I'm sure Adikarta has similar experience. There's many devotees in the Hare Krishna movement who are at the cusp of winding down their family life because their children have grown up and have gone off to college and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And now they're entering another phase called Vanaprastha phase, or question mark, like, what do I do now? Because, when somebody's little, they know what they do. Go to school. And what do you do when you go to school? You get into college. What do you do when you get into college? You don't do well in college. What do you do if you get a job? And what do you do when you get a job? You get a house, and you get a wife, and you get kids, and you get a car, and you get headaches. And then when the kids grow up, then what do you do? It's a puzzle. It's a question mark in the forehead of many people. And sometimes they say it, and sometimes they don't say it, but it's clear. It's like there's no clarity. There's very little clarity what to do. And this little message with that introduction is, till the end of your life, you somehow find a way, A, B, C, D, something, 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 or combination, and find a way to bring that which you have received through the maturing stages of your life, and develop the skill to give that to others and give it to others. that which you have received you give to others. It's a little Prabhupada anecdote that just says the same thing. There was a period of time when Burijan Prabhu had become a householder and he had his first child. And so he was not going to be in a temple, he was going to have to earn a livelihood. And one of the first things that he did, because it was proximate, he became a bricklayer. From a college educated kid at same university that I attended, he became a bricklayer. So then he went to Prabhupada, because he had this access to speak with Prabhupada from time to time, different things. So he asked Prabhupada, "Is it okay? That's the occupation that I have for the time being." And Prabhupada's answer didn't surprise me. Prabhupada's answer was, "This is Krishna consciousness." Then he said, Krishna consciousness means you learn something, you become proficient at that something, and you teach others. That is Krishna consciousness. You just, did that circle. And then Prabhupada took it one step further. He said, "I can teach you how to make bricks." Then he explained. He didn't do, but he explained how in India they make bricks. So he, with his hands, he said, you take some mud and you make it moist and you shape it in the shape of a brick and put that shaped like a brick on top of a piece of wood. You ignite the wood, come by in the morning and you got a brick. So Burijan being, Burijan, he tried it. And sure enough, there was a brick the next morning when the fire went out. And so, that's how in India they make bricks. That's not how Burijan made bricks, but he just wanted to learn from Prabhupada. And the principle is, so those who are in their vanaprastha cusp stage of looking at what's on the other side of being a family man with children and raising children, and now they're off and doing something. They either got a job or they're something, married, and they're out of the home. And so now what's next? Same. The message, the Prabhupada's message, in other circumstances, I could give other circumstances where he explicitly said, preach. Between this and that, preach. And Krishna will take care. Now, it's not close your eyes and run, but Krishna will take care. You dedicate yourself to Krishna, and guess what? He reciprocates. And that dedication to Krishna, especially when you have a wealth of experience and knowledge and some degree at least of training in Krishna consciousness, give it to others. Because there's a lot of people, a lot of Jaghai Madhai, or unfortunate people that don't know why they're suffering. And from the knowledge of the scripture, we know what the suffering cause is and what the remedy is. So it's easy to speak about what the cause is and what the remedy is, but then doing it, that's our life. As long as we have breath. Who knows how many breaths we have? You become a senior citizen, who knows? Start asking. I won't say the name, but somebody in this community wrote to me because he's not well. Wasn't coming, but he's at a certain age, and he's looking at what's coming next. He's not at the vanaprastha stage. He's at as my primary health care physician says, it's the last quarter. Okay, last quarter. And then it's over. So what goes in that space and what comes after that? So the principle that Prabhupada spoke is clear. You rely on Krishna, and you give what Krishna has given you. You give that to others. With proper representation of that transcendentalness, but you give to others. That's it. It's very simple. And when Krishna sees that one does like that, will Krishna not take care? Certainly Krishna will take care. He's taking care of someone as a householder and as a student before the householder, and then afterwards. So Krishna will take care. And we extend what Krishna wants to others. Yeah. We found that same reference. I forwarded it to you. Radha Kundasi.
Yeah.
Amazing. If somebody didn't get it, we'll see if we can circulate that reference. And then there's another one. Buddhimanta, you're in another part of the world. Did you ever meet Buddhimanta?
Kind of a little bit, not much. In New York when I went one time.
Okay. Buddhimanta was from San Francisco. And he was with Keshava. Keshava and Buddhimanta were like,
I had a wrestling match with him.
huh?
I had a wrestling match with him.
With Buddhimanta or Keshava?
Keshava.
Keshava was a powerful guy. I'm sure he whooped you.
He was in Berry Place.
Bury Place. So they were from San Francisco, and they were like rah book distributors. Buddhimanta, just a little description. Buddhimanta was very tall. He stood very straight. He had a ruddy complexion, and he always had a big smile. And he had a very strong voice. And he loved book distribution. When people came, when he came before people, it's like, whoa, who's this guy? And he would lean over because he was very tall and tell him, take the book, and they would took the book. So I met him twice. They came to New York because they were doing the Ra book distribution program in New York, and that's where I met him. And then there's a story where Prabhupada was, I guess it was Mayapur, and he was in Los Angeles. Prabhupada was in Los Angeles, and Buddhimanta wanted to see Prabhupada. And the guard said, no. Who are you? I'm Buddhimanta. Prabhupada would want, so he somehow, the man said, yes, I'll buy your book or something. And the devotee, the Prabhupada, and Prabhupada, this is not exactly the way I guess I could read it, but he came before Prabhupada and told Prabhupada he had just distributed 100 big books that day. And Prabhupada's jaw dropped, and he was like, wow. And he wanted to reciprocate. So what Prabhupada did was he had a kurta on, and he took his kurta off and gave him his kurta. The shirt off his back, literally, out of reciprocation for that gesture. And then later Buddhimanta left his body as a still young man in Vrindavan with brain cancer or something like that. But, very devoted person, and Prabhupada loved persons till the end. I mean, it doesn't have to be book distribution. It has to be some way of being engaged in the mission. Certainly book distribution is one, but others and others and others and others are part of that. What is that part of that mission? And be dedicated to the mission, as Prabhupada was to the mission of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. In a super grand, empowered way. So we're not grand and we're not empowered, but we can be little instruments, and out of gratitude for what we've received, and please our founder Acharya. So that's a little vanaprastha stage of life question, because not everybody's at that stage yet. But if you live long enough, you'll get there. And then what are you going to do? Somehow, some way. So the mission is broad, and find a way that you fit into that mission, your voice, your your nature, your etc., the gifts that Krishna has given you. I was thinking a little bit today about, correct me if I'm wrong, my memory says, maybe somebody in the room will remember better than me, Mukhya, before she became the president, she was involved in a restaurant. She was like superlative cook. And I imagine when she was in the restaurant, she wasn't thinking, oh, I can't wait till I become the president of Alachua. But somehow, and when service opportunity comes, what do you say? Depends on the circumstance, of course, and so forth. But when opportunity comes, it's nice to consider leading in the direction of saying yes. Then you consider carefully before you say yes. But till and how long is she going to be able to do what she's doing? Who knows? I hope there's a succession plan. I'm sure she's such a smart administrator. She's probably got it all figured out already.
She wants to do it till she's 80.
Huh?
She wants to do it till she's 80.
Till she's 80. What's her age now? 75. All glories to Mukhya. Yeah, Ragatmika.
One time I asked her,
This is Mukhya.
yeah, what inspired you? And she said,
The crying child is louder than you.
yeah. One time I asked her, what inspired you to take this service up? And she said, I prayed to Prabhupada, please, I just want to be useful. Somehow, please engage me. I want to be useful in your mission.
She asked for it. There's many nice examples. I won't. Okay, anyone else would like to contribute to this? This is discussion time now.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. While, preaching or book distribution, I see that a lot of people trying innovative way of preaching, different ways, reaching out to the, outer community. How do we make sure that Prabhupada stays in the center of that?
It's your heart. And when the heart has Prabhupada in the center of one's heart, then he stays in the center. And if he's not at the center, then it's going to start to veer off, and you can tell when it's starting to veer off because there may be some results, but is Prabhupada pleased? And that's a nice question, but that's what keeps it on track, at the center, in your heart. And then, so that means I need to know what are the things that Prabhupada valued very much, and then follow that thread. There's deviations even in that arena, without mentioning examples. But that's a principle that must be there. And supposing you're not sure, ask somebody. Don't be innovative. Ask somebody that's an experienced, wise, senior devotee. What do you what is your advice for me? In a submissive manner, what do you recommend for me in this situation? that right?
Yes. Thank you.
What your question, it was the theme of, as you probably know, the theme of my Vyasa Puja event, this my birthday event that took place at the end of December. And different persons were speaking on this topic purposefully, because that was the theme. How to keep the prominence of our founder Acharya going forward in time. Or say negatively, how to avoid veering off. Because over time, the things have a tendency to deteriorate. And then that which isn't becomes that which is. And then how do you discern? Which is what your question is.
Yes, Maharaj. Yeah. And along with the fading Acharya thing and theme, I'm also fear of that Labh, Puja and Pratishta, making us fall down if Prabhupada not in center.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, Adikarta. Where's our...
Just a wonderful part in the Chaitanya Bhagavat where Yamaraj, he faints on his chariot. You remember reading that? It's right there after the part you read, pretty close after that. He's,
Louder.
Okay, there's a wonderful part in the Chaitanya Bhagavat just after where you're, I think, where Yamaraj, because Chitragupta, the scribe, couldn't write all the sins that Jaga and Madai had done. So when he saw the mercy of Lord Chaitanya, he was on his chariot somehow or other, I don't know how, but he fainted on his chariot. And then Madai, he felt bad. He was feeling bad about the things he'd done. So Lord Chaitanya said, then you should make a ghat. So they got Madai's ghat by the Ganga there. And you should make a ghat and you should welcome all the devotees and wash their feet and pay obeisances to them.
Yeah. That's very nice.
Yeah, anyway, Hare Krishna.
Okay.
Chaitanya Bhagavat's amazing.
Yes.
But at the beginning of it, Lord Nityananda, I mean, it's amazing because for several pages there's a purport in the very first or second verse about Lord Balaram and how he's got his own gopis. You remember that?
Yeah.
And Srila Bhaktisiddhanta goes on to a huge, I wouldn't say rant because it doesn't sound right, but he goes on to a very long explanation of how illicit sex is bad, and then he's talking about how Balaram has his own gopis and Krishna has his own gopis. And, I mean, it's obviously trying to explain the character of Lord Nityananda, referring to Lord Balaram. And then he says, Lord Nityananda's gopis are inferior to Krishna's gopis.
Okay. Leave that to you to make the purport. Bhaktisiddhanta. So back in the corner. Oh, here we go. Look at this.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. So I had a question. So Nityananda Mahaprabhu. Wait, no. Yeah, Nityananda had 2 wives, Vasudha and Janava. So is there any significance of having 2 wives?
I couldn't get it all. Did you get it?
He's asking, Lord Nityananda has 2 wives.
Yeah.
Is there a significance?
What's the significance of that? Because I think Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also had 2 wives.
Yeah, because Balaram had 2 and he has 2. That's the significant. So why 2 instead of 1?
Yeah.
And why not
Because
16,000?
it's in our right now it's not considered bad.
No, but it's okay. During the Vedic times, kings and brahmanas many had more than 1 wife. So it's not a violation of social norm. It would, for a brahmana or a Kshatriya who could maintain, that was the condition, the consideration. And for those that could maintain, then it was quite normal. But I thought your question was why 2 instead of 1? Why 2 instead of 5? Why is there some significance of this number 2? That's not what you're asking. You were asking why 2 instead of the norm, the custom. That's your question?
Kind of. Yeah.
Kind of. Okay. Okay.
He's the supreme personality of Godhead, whatever he likes. He's
But and there's not at all uncommon that qualified brahmanas and qualified kshatriyas would have more than one wife. Well, they're his eternal associates. That's a good reason. Back here, there were 2 hands up. Oh, look at this.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. My question is, how does hearing pastimes like Lord Nityananda's wedding help us in our Krishna conscious journey?
Oh, that's a nice question. Just anything to do with, in principle, anything to do with the Supreme Personality of Godhead is purifying. So we have a problem. We're covered with the modes of material nature. And to become free from the modes of material nature, one of the principal activities that helps us become free from the modes of nature is having coverings of the modes removed. And one of the principal activities is hearing about the person, the name, fame, quality, pastimes, etc. So this is his pastime. And the associates connected with him are also very special. To have that association with him, they're very special. The Brahmana, the go-between Brahmana, this and that, they have a role to play in his pastimes. And it's purifying to hear him, to hear the description of his form, to hear all of this. It's purifying. And on the soul platform, it's purifying. Although it's about a marriage, so because it's in relation to the personality of God, it is purifying. We'll come back. Don't worry, we'll come back.
Oh,
No, go ahead. There's like three hands back there.
it's in relation to Sarup Prabhu's question. I don't understand how someone can be distributing Prabhupada's books other than their own anarthas of fame, adoration, and distinction would not have Prabhupada in the center. I don't know what you're referring to specifically, but...
Me?
No, him, Sarup. When he was asking that question, he was asking how to keep Prabhupada in the center when distributing his books. Is that okay?
He's got to respond.
Yeah.
I think he's been misquoted.
Okay.
So one of the dimension of that was keeping ourselves in the center, like how many I did book distribution, like having an ego or coming in between, not Prabhupada. That's what I was.
Okay, that's understandable. Okay. Yeah.
Well, some persons in this room are transcendental. They don't think like that, so they can't understand what you meant.
No, I understood. Now I understand what he was doing there. Fame, adoration, and distinction. I'm filled with that desire.
Swarga, you had.
Yeah, it's more for clarification. The prayers of Jagai and Madai.
Mm-hmm.
And
They did a good
knowing-
job, huh? They did a nice job. I mean, Lord Chaitanya, Lord Nityananda, Lord Chaitanya, Lord Nityananda. It's like tag team. They were really good. They weren't diminishing either.
Well, but then also Saraswati was mentioned,
Yes.
that her abilities were there.
Okay.
And how did they come through? That's my question.
Okay, that's a nice question. The demigoddess Saraswati is an expansion of the internal potency Saraswati. Like, for example, where this comes from is Sri Brahma Samhita. That's how I learned it. And so when Brahma, the first of the Gayatri mantras he received, who did he receive it from? Saraswati. His wife? No. The internal potency Saraswati? Yes. Because the one is an expansion or a reflection of the original. So in this case, she's the Saraswati, who is the embodiment of all knowledge. You know, one of the aspects of the internal potency of the personality Godhead, that one. 2. The original and the reflection of the original, or expansion of the original. Go ahead.
In the purport to Gauranga Balita Habe, Prabhupada says that without getting the mercy of Lord Nityananda, you can't understand the loving affairs of Radha and Krishna. So I'm just saying that, what is in a very brief way, how would you describe getting the mercy of Lord Nityananda? By feeling very humble, or feeling very fallen, or going out distributing books and preaching?
Well, you're being at his feet, and whatever it is that the relationship between the servant and the master is whatever the master wants. And you carry out whatever the master wants. That's the mood.
Right.
And whatever he wants. And so whatever that is, that's it. That's what I do with love, because he wants. Someone else back here? There was another hand up, no? Okay. Yeah, I see. But I was looking over there. That's why. No, right here, right in the front.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj. I was just thinking about the word deliverance. When Krishna killed the demons, he delivered those demons, and here Jagai Madai. So when they get delivered, do they go to spiritual world,
Who?
like Jagai Madai or all the?
They're special eternal associates.
Even the demons.
No, not even the demons. Jagai and Madhai, specifically. Now, the others, were they delivered? Yes. And they were delivered by the special potency of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. When they were their lives were taken, Jagai and Madhai died of a natural death. They became, as he said, "You are my eternal devotees. Don't ever offend them. Don't ever speak ill of them, even though they did bad stuff before. Don't refer to their bad stuff before." So your question is, what's their destination? Delivered means go where? To the spiritual world. So when Krishna or Chaitanya Mahaprabhu delivered people, that was their destination. You want to go there?
Okay. Not on the wrong side, like not from how they behaved, kind of.
I don't think you'll ever become a very good Jagai or Madhai. No.
Thank you very much.
I see you. I hear you. Just hang on. Thanks. Over here. Right over there. Right there in the corner.
Hare Krishna. Guru Maharaj, yesterday the narration about Raghunath Das Goswami's journey, it was very inspiring, and especially the intensity of his attachment to being with Lord Chaitanya and all the obstacles that he had and the repeated attempts he made, and finally he gets the mercy of Lord Nityananda, and then he gains the association of Mahaprabhu and Swarup Damodar. So one thing that was, although Raghunath Das Goswami is like we talk about his detachment, but one of the things that came out from the narration was his intense attachment actually to the Lord.
Yes.
And that was really nice, because I was thinking it is natural to cultivate attachment. It's hard to cultivate detachment by itself, but when one is attached to something, then the principle that Srila Prabhupada always says, that you cultivate a higher taste and then the lower things automatically. So that was very inspiring, that we focus on cultivating attachment to the Lord and the pastimes that we are hearing, and then automatically the purification comes.
This is an answer to your question.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Here he is, Mr. Enthusiastic. Gets the microphone.
That's okay. I don't have to go. If you don't want me to.
No, I didn't say I didn't want you. I was teasing you.
That's fine. I was just in reference to what Adi Karta Prabhu was saying in regard to Lord Nityananda. He is Guru Tattva, so we know that that means getting the answers from the Guru himself. He's the representative of that. So naturally, when we ask the Guru and we please him, we please the spiritual master, then automatically we please Lord Nityananda, and then automatically please Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Mm-hmm. Hare Krishna.
Okay. There's the word deliverance again. You see? Deliverance. And notice Lord Chaitanya has his foot on the chest of Jagai, because he had immediately forgiven Jagai, because he was attempting to stop Madhai from hitting him again with his clay pot number 2. What will you gain by doing this? Stop. Even before Lord Chaitanya came with his chakra. Okay. You got the microphone.
It was just the same topic. So, Srila Prabhupada, what pleases you the most? And hoping he'd say book distribution.
Yeah.
And he said, if you love Krishna.
If you love Krishna. That's a nice answer, isn't it? Transcendental answer. Okay, I think it's time to end. And that means it's time to distribute Mahaprasadam. Thank you all for coming, and we'll see you again next time. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.